Good evening. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Here.
Hardy,
Here.
Saunders,
Here.
Rhodes,
Here.
Spinks,
Here.
Cochi,
Here.
Mezak. Here.
Council, you have the minutes of work session of October 7th, 2019. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance? By Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Abstain.
Hardy,
Here. Yes, I'm sorry.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Abstain.
and Mezak.
Yes.
Approval of minutes of the regular meeting of October 7th, 2019. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Mezak, second by somebody? Second? Anybody?
I'm down there.
By Fluharty?
I threw it out to
Call the roll.
Janutus,
Abstain.
Hardy,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes. Or abstain, I'm sorry.
and Mezak.
Yes.
Yeah, I go on a short vacation, I gotta be retrained here. No presentations tonight. Under old business, ordinance number 9726-19.
Authorizing the city manager to initiate energy improvements pursuant to the recommendations of an investment-grade audit conducted by Gardner and declaring an emergency.
We're not gonna do a suspension tonight, but I do need a motion for third reading by Fluharty, second by Janutus. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. If you recall, last year we received a grant through NOPEC for $50,000. We received the same grant this year, and we will be receiving the same amount next year. We had the ability to escrow the $50,000 from this year into next year's funds, so we would have about $100,000 next year, and any other funds in our capital line that we would want to use towards energy improvements. It's a reimbursable grant. So what we did is we partnered with Gardner, and they did an energy audit from all of our municipal buildings. They gave us a study as far as cost, as far as payback period, what improvements would need to be made, street lighting. One of the areas that we are looking for is the area down Willis and Niver. For those of you that don't know, we have lighting down there. It was the original lighting that was moved from Broadway back on Willis. All of those have been failing. You can't get parts for them anymore. So we'll be looking at making those improvements, which will be funded through the grant. We're also looking at the domestic water heater in the municipal complex. 16 years old, it's starting to show leaking. So all of these things can be reimbursed through the grant, and it only made sense that we had the professionals to do the energy audit and provide us kind of like a working document to go off of. So by approving this, we can then start working with them to initiate some of these improvements, and then we'll apply for the reimbursement after January through NOPEC.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
and Mezak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9728-19.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 9546-17 concerning section 913.02 entitled Sewer Rates of our ordinances in the city as related to sewer rates and declaring an emergency.
And need a motion for suspension by Mezak, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Hardy,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty.
Yes.
Frank, you want to take
These,
it?
the next two ordinances pertain to the sewer rates. We are not going to have a water rate increase this year. However, with the sewer and the plant improvements that are necessary in the future, as EPA looks at the plant, we will definitely need to start funding for those improvements. So I recommended the council a 4% increase that we will have for the year 2020, and I ask council to approve that this evening. The senior citizen discount program will go up accordingly, but again, there will be no increase in the water rates this year.
Thank you. Yes.
I had a question for Frank. That doesn't include the 4.5% Cleveland's pushing through to all of us, does it, or are we absorbing it?
We are absorbing that.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9729-19.
Amending ordinance number 963718 concerning section 913.03 entitled Rate Reduction for Senior Citizens and the Permanently Disabled of our ordinances in the city and declaring, regarding sewer rates and declaring an emergency.
It's our wish to put that on second reading. Can I have a motion for such by,
No, I'd like to have that passed.
oh, this one you
We have
did?
to put the rates into it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I
Both
misunderstood.
rates have to go.
Take that back and need a motion for suspension by Mezak, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
and Mezak.
Yes.
I need a motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. And Frank, I think
I
you
did
explained
ready
that.
to explain it, yes.
Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes. Mayor,
Yes.
I did have a question to Frank in regards to this, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see.
All right, I mean, explain the 4% and we absorb the other 4.5 from the city of Cleveland. What is the bottom line for year annual income for the citizen to apply for this discount?
I believe it's at 30, don't quote me on this, it's 32.8 something is the figure. It went up about $800 over last year. That number's been out there and we've been sending out those letters to the public.
Thank you.
It was based on the CPI index. We did increase it accordingly.
And that's household income, correct?
That is household income, correct.
Thank you.
Okay. Ordinance number 9730-19.
Authorizing the city manager to apply for a fiscal year 2019-2020 Community Development Block Grant Fund through the Cuyahoga County Department of Development for the televising of the city's sewer systems and declaring an emergency.
And this one we wish to put on second reading. For such, by Rhodes, second by Mezak. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9731-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to apply for a community development supplemental grant fund and declaring an emergency. Second reading it.
Yeah. Okay. And that we wish also to put on second reading. Can I have a motion for such by Fluharty, second by Janutus? Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
And ordinance number 9734-19.
Providing for the issuance and sale of a not to exceed $935,000 of notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the cost of acquiring a new fire pumper and a new ambulance for the use by the fire department, together with all necessary attachments thereto, and declaring an emergency.
And also, we want to put that on second reading. Motion for such by Rhodes, second by Mezak. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mizek.
Yes.
And reports, Mr. Malice.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple updates on some of the construction projects. The sidewalk program did start. I know we originally mentioned that it was going to start today. With the weather over the weekend, we did give the Cerna Construction authorization to start on Saturday. They should be done in about 3 to 4 weeks at most. Our Union Street project is moving along. We believe that should be completed and buttoned up by Thanksgiving. So we're hoping that the weather holds out until that point. We've also been working to follow up with Cuyahoga County as far as date and their estimated time frame as far as when they will be coming in 2020 to repave that street. If you recall, it's a county road, but before they were going to do that, that water line was from the 1930s, and that's what we're repairing right now. We're putting a new water line in. It was a $1.2 million project that the city is paying for, and we should have that done by Thanksgiving. I know it's not been the best as far as convenience-wise, and we appreciate everybody working with the detours. To compound that, we do have the water line project on Egbert, and we are working on that. That should be done in about 3 more weeks. So there is a 1 lane over there on Egbert near Tinkers Creek Commerce Park and Art of Beauty. There was obviously some infrastructure improvements that needed to get done to provide adequate water supply to that park. And that's what we're doing, and that project should be done in the coming weeks. We've begun working with a sounding company that is going through town, looking to locate small water leaks. Couple more weeks at most, I think, but they should be wrapping up. They had started a couple weeks ago. They're going out. Once they identify those leaks, we'll follow up and obviously make the necessary repairs. Council, I've been providing the reports that are made available through the GIS system that we're continuing to work to build off of. I think it's helpful not only for us to see that the updates that take place, but it's also good to keep those records in the system so we know, status of different projects for the future. So that they should be done with that in a couple weeks. If you see a small AT vehicle going around town, that's what that unit is. As far as solicitors, we've actually had a couple more inquiries from some energy companies looking for solicitor permits. We already have a couple out there, and we're going to be looking to deny those current ones. If you're ever questioning someone soliciting, look for their identification. You could ask them if they're registered with the city, with the police department, or simply call us if you have a question. Let us know. We'll be more than happy to come out and do so. They need to register through the police department and our office. Lastly, just a reminder, we have our annual Halloween party on Saturday, the 26th at 10 a.m. down at Ellenwood. So if you have little ones, stop down. They made some changes last year, and it was very well attended. They're doing a great job, so take advantage of that. And I lied. There's one more thing, and Mayor, you reminded me. If you haven't gone online and voted for our canine in the vehicle, please go online and do so. We're one of the finalists for the vehicle. You can vote, I believe, once a day. So please, if you haven't done so already, if you go on there and vote, we'll see if we can get Luca a new vehicle. End of report. Oh, and actually, just so if anybody's wondering, that vehicle that our canines do use, we actually bought that vehicle with the amount of money that was remaining from the auto mile donation when they provided the funds to get our canine. That was a used canine vehicle out of Oakwood who did not have a canine unit already. So the vehicle, it's not like he's getting a new vehicle and his current one's 4 years old. I won't tell you how old it is. It's seen better days. So appreciate your guys' vote. Thank you. End of report.
That would be good. Mr. Montello.
I really don't have a report, but I would ask, when are they celebrating Halloween? I was going to wish everybody a happy Halloween, but... and 6 to 8? Okay. All right, have a happy Halloween, everybody. A safe Halloween. End of report.
Mr. Gambosi.
A couple items. Today we also have on the agenda the budget for next year, the appropriation budget for 2020. That's 973819. In that we have the budget of the general fund at $17.3 million and close to $38 million in overall funds. Interesting statistic, we have 18.4 million in payroll, 17 million in other costs. I know that adds up to 35 million, but we also have 2.4 million that's in there twice for in the health insurance fund. So at this point, you're almost at just a little bit more in payroll than you do with other costs in the city. Also, regarding civil service, we have a couple members here today, Nancy, Richard. We are halfway through the fire lieutenant exam. We'll be sending the top 6 candidates tomorrow night. We'll have those results, and then we'll send them over to the oral exam for completion of that test, which will end November 2nd, I believe is the date. And we will finish that up and have those positions available, or at least the list available for future hiring in those positions. That's the end of my report this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Janutus.
No report.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty.
Thanks, Mayor. I was going to have a little list here of reporting, but Mike did everything in my ward, because in my ward, everything's torn up. So it's a lot easy he just covered a lot of it, but I had an email from somebody, and I says, where do you live? She said, First Street, AKA Detour. So, they're getting tired of all these detours and people coming down their streets. But what's going on with the gas company on William Street? Are they going to be done with that in a couple of weeks, do you know?
Yeah, they should be done in about 2 weeks.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah,
that's another street.
we'll try to provide an update. And if anybody was inquiring, Vic, I left one item out. Cuyahoga County had the bridge on Egbert down to 1 lane last week for about 3 days. They're out doing their annual bridge inspections, so we don't anticipate any issues there, and I don't think they'll be back out. But if anybody asks, that's what it was, the county, that they go around and do those inspections.
Okay, and also people were actually doing some work up on the hill on San Bernardo, the retirement home up there, so they're finally getting things moving again, so hopefully we get that resolved and finally get finalized. That's it, end of report.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders.
Yes, I just want to make a quick comment on the leaves that are coming down. Make sure you keep them on your tree lawn and off the sidewalks and streets. They cause havoc for pedestrians, and they certainly cause havoc for cars because it plugs the catch basins, and we don't need flooding. Though we haven't had much rain in the last several months, it's bound to come up and catch us up eventually. So we need to make sure we keep them on the tree lawns. Halloween's coming up next Thursday, and once again, be careful of the little ones out there. It's one of those things where half the time it's light, half the time it's dark. It's during the dark hours. The kids, of course, shoot out, cross streets back and forth, so you have to be careful with vehicles as more and more people are transporting their kids by car to houses and neighborhoods instead of walking with their kids like they used to in the olden days. Yeah, actually it's about 10 years ago they started switching the cars pretty quickly. But be careful out there for Halloween. There are a really nice set of displays all throughout my ward, I know, so it's nice to see them, people decorating, because it gets back to the old adage of people that are concerned with their neighborhoods and how they look too, so that's always a good thing. I got one question for Mike, and that's due to the high winds we've had for the last 3 days. A lot of people have had branches that have come down. Are we going around and just dumping them in a truck and taking them away if they put them out, or, because I know we stopped the chipper service?
Yeah, the chipper ended last week. I'm going to check with service. I do believe we were out today collecting some of them that have come down. But we're not actually taking calls like adding addresses. If there's some out, obviously we'll pick some of those up.
That's what I assume, because we certainly don't want them mixed with the leaves because it clogs up the vacuums, and boy, does that create a mess. And as far as the county and Union Street, people don't realize, but the asphalt plants close around the 1st of December. Sometimes it's mid-November, and they don't reopen until usually mid-March if it's a nice spring. There's times when they don't open till mid-April. So anybody that thinks they're gonna get Union Street paved in the distant future is kidding themselves, because the asphalt plants themselves control a lot of that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Rhodes?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Just have a few things to report tonight. The first is that our next First Friday is November 1st. We'll be doing Dia de los Muertos, which is Day of the Dead in Mexico. It's kind of an extension of Halloween. If you've watched the movie Coco, you're familiar with the concept, the Disney movie Coco. And so we'll be doing we'll be doing activities around that theme. I'd also like to let everybody know that our next Do Good Nicks meeting is 10/24, this Thursday at 7 p.m. We have moved the meeting to DePompies, hoping to attract some people who would like to just perhaps hang out and have a beer, and that's okay with us too. And we are looking for people to serve as leads for our First Friday themes. You pick a day, you get to plan the whole evening, and you just tell us what you want done, and then we'll get that done. Anyway, if you have any interest, we'd love to see you at 7 p.m. this Thursday at DePompies. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Spinks?
Yep. Speaking of Halloween, we will be having trunk or treat at our church, at my church, at Church of Nazarene. A couple of other churches around, I believe, is going to have it too. So what we do, we pull our cars up, we decorate our trunks, and we give out candy. We do it friendly. We don't do it scary. Last year, we had to move it inside, so it was very successful last year. So you've got several options if you don't want to go door to door. You can feel safe to come to Church of Nazarene, and some of the other churches around won't be, members will be giving out candy. And again, just like Mike said, don't forget to vote for Luca every day. He really needs that. It's real cute. I know he's not posting. I know one of our other overseers. It's really cute on Facebook. He's really begging for this new SUV, new vehicle, and he's throwing his partner under the bus, though, so I know it's not coming from Luca. So please vote. Again, you can vote every day. You've got till the 31st to do that. And end of report.
Thank you. Mrs. Mezak?
Thank you, Mayor. Welcome back. But I'm glad to see, and I want to say thank you, because I did have a great time running the last council meeting, and I can see that I felt more comfortable tonight because there were blunders over. It's another week of a good time with our people and showing that we are all human, which is the best part. But you can keep your seat as long as you'd like, because I like it here because Mike missed me. He even told me that. But welcome, everybody. I'm glad to see you all. We've had some beautiful weather. Was able to get out yet, and I hope we're going to be able to get out and about all the way up until April. Maybe a mild winter, hopefully. But I have two things for Mike. First, to check into the high wheat, not weeds, wheat at the school as you round the corner on Glendale. Because that is giving us a blind spot, and it also prevents those people that pick up their children. Area where... Alrighty, and then there's one sign left because of the detour that was on West Grace last week at the corner of Broadway before you get to East Grace, where the bus detour and the detour sign is. The one on the pole. That's it. Remind you to take it off. Most people know that we had almost a mishap with a little child coming off the school bus 2 weeks ago. And I'm asking you all, and tell your friends too, we can just take our foot off the gas pedal and be more cautious and more eyes on these kids, because they're our future. I mean, I know I'm not going to be here maybe in 15 years. My husband's going to be lucky. But I cannot, there's two things that bother me. Children that have a bad illness, things that jeopardize the child's life. So we have to control these people that would rather use the gas pedal instead of the brake through a school zone or any other street because they think they own the street, which they don't. It's the street of the people, no matter where you're driving, but caution has to prevail. Life is life, and I value it very deeply. That's one of my pet peeves. Other than that, Halloween, we already went through, but also at the Historical Society, because I read in the newsletter, they will be having Halloween also, 6 to 8 at the Historical Society in the museum building. And that's about it for tonight for me. Welcome my Heatherwood people, I'm so sorry. My county club residents. Sorry, Heatherwood, they don't come up here, so don't worry about them. But I want to say welcome again, and we might be having our gas station back in service pretty soon, or maybe before the first of the year. I haven't had any reports yet on it, so bear with us, and we'll try to help you the best we can too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike mentioned in his remarks about the water line going into Art of Beauty, and the beauty of that is, maybe some of you got this in the mail today from Art of Beauty, with a note saying, looking for a great job 5 minutes from home, they're going to be hiring. Because with that additional water line, they're going to be adding on to their building. They're moving some processes here from out of state. So it's a good thing. They're moving on and going to be a great asset to our city. So if you're looking for a job, or you know somebody is, bedfordjobs@artofbeauty.com. I'll leave this up here if anybody wants to look at it. So that's good news. Things are progressing. And like I say, it's good to be back. I had to suffer through a cruise for 5 days. My wife got it for free, so what can I say? Anyhow, let's move on to new business. Ordinance number 9735-19.
Amending ordinance number 9667-19 concerning the contract with Guide Studio, Inc. concerning our wayfinding signage and declaring an emergency.
And we need a motion for suspension. Spink, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
And motion for third and final by Mezak, second by Rhodes. Mike?
Yes, Mayor, this is a change order that was done. We had to make some changes to some of the bid documents and specific specifications to some of those signs with our intent to move forward as far as implementing the whole program. Based on what those bids were, this was adjustments that reflect those changes to those documents.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
and Mezak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9736-19.
Allowing employee participants to make insurance plan premium contributions on a pre-tax basis for the calendar year 2020 through a company called WageWorks and declaring an emergency.
I need a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mezak.
Yes.
A motion for third and final by Mezak, second by Rhodes.
Mayor, this is an ordinance that has the employees, when we withhold for their premiums for their hospitalization, that they are not taxed for federal, state, and city purposes. This is in the union contracts, and then I asked council to pass that this evening, as we need this for implementation for the 2020 year.
Yeah, it's something we've been
We do
doing
it every
for
year,
years and
yeah.
years, even back when I was there. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
and Mezak.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9737-19.
An ordinance repealing section 505.11 entitled Coloring Rabbits and Baby Poultry, Sale or Display of the Same, of our codified ordinances of the city and declaring an emergency.
And this we wish to put on first reading. Motion for such by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mizek.
Yes.
And ordinance number 9738-19.
Is an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and expenditures of the city during the year 2020 and declaring an emergency.
And this is the budget hearings that we just started tonight and will be going for several weeks. And that's what the appropriations are all about. So we need a first reading on that. Motion by Mezak, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mizek.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9739-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to sign a grant of conservation easement to West Creek Conservancy and declaring an emergency.
Again, we want to put that on first reading. Can I have a motion for such? Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mizek.
Yes.
Ordinance number 9740-19.
Is an ordinance amending Chapter 1949 entitled Signs of the Codified Ordinances of the City and declaring an emergency.
Again, we wish to put that on first reading. A motion by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Yes.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
Mizek.
Yes.
Resolution number 2546-19.
A resolution of public censure as to Councilperson Donald Saunders.
It's our wish to do that on a first reading. Can I have a motion for such by Spinks, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Janutus,
Abstain.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Saunders,
Abstain.
Rhodes,
Yes.
Spinks,
Yes.
Cochee,
Yes.
and Mizek.
Abstain.
Now we come to that portion of the meeting for the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
My name is Melvin Cook.
And take your time
I
getting
live
up.
at 678 College Club. All I want to say is I'm glad that all you guys came out tonight. Ward 4. There she is. Okay? Whatever you got to say it. Because let them hear it. Don't sit down. Stand up and say what you got to say. And they'll listen. If they don't, see me.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go through this again. When will they realize?
I'm going to try to read the sign ordinance.
We're gonna hear this.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mr.
Evening.
Montello, Alice, and me, Paula, and everyone. I am Millie, as you know. I've been here several times. And of course, it's the same thing. Problems at Colony Club.
Miss, excuse me, can we get your address, please?
My address is 625A Turney Road, apartment number 152, Bedford 44146.
Thank you.
24 years. Well, there was a note I discovered put upstairs in the laundry room regarding the new cards for the laundry machines. And of course, they weren't put door to door, which is appropriate. This is the note that was put. rather than put it on each door, which is appropriate, so people are aware, I only go up once a week. Most people flush every day, so they don't see
Can I
it.
ask you to go back to the microphone so everybody can hear?
Take a look at
Yeah,
it.
we'll get it back to you.
Okay. Very good. So naturally, Thursday, on the 18th, there were new cards put at our door. They were conveniently put there, but with no information to the phone number, so you could get your money back that was on the old cards. So you had to go to the office or call. Well, I went to the office, and of course, I had a very crabby lady. Her name is Ariel, which I found out. I said to her, I'm here to find out where or who I contact, because I have like $13 on the old card. She said, well, here's the phone number. You can call, with that tone of voice. I says, are you having a problem today? She says, I don't want to talk to you, in that tone of voice. I said, there must be something wrong with you. I merely ask a question. So the secretary that's across from her, she said to her, don't talk to her like that. She says, I don't want to talk to you either. Very nasty. Well, today, I went to the office to talk to Dawn, the manager, and I told her exactly what occurred, and she was well aware of it. I said, look, you treat people with respect. Respect. I says, she does not belong in this office. She's totally unqualified. I says, you can put a letter on the door. This should have been on everyone's door. I said, why couldn't she have done that? She says, oh, now we know that we should do this. This is a manager. We will certainly inform you ahead of time. I said, well, that's a great idea. I said, but the people are very unhappy. I says, you have a staff that should treat people with the greatest respect, especially seniors, and that's important. I says, we're here. I says, and we need assistance. So we have to come, who do we come to? We come to the office. So if you hire someone and they're not trained properly, then that's on you. So I just wanted to mention that. So I talked to her today on 10/21. She was very nice to me and very apologetic. She says, well, she had a bad day because everyone was, forming, coming into the office. What about the card and so forth and so on. But that's trivial. We still do not have the type of treatment that we had before. We don't. And of course, Mr. Malice, have you been successful in speaking with Lauren Gillespie?
I've spoke to Laura a couple of times. One of the issues, actually, I'm working with our police department and Mel. Mel's been helpful in getting some of the information, specifically regarding the dogs.
Oh, yes.
The dogs that have been, the type of dog and the breed of dog that I've been told have been staying there, they're not permitted to be staying there.
Well, they're
So
certainly there, believe me.
I'm aware of that, yeah, and I'm working to identify the specific locations, and they both urged me to send that information over to them, Laura and Dawn. I've also sent 3 dates requesting a meeting that we can all have conversations with them. So I'm
That
waiting.
would be a wonderful thing, if you could get her to come. There's a beautiful,
Right, now, I can't promise anything, but I'm trying to get somebody to have a meeting with all of you folks, and I will come and attend that meeting.
and then we wouldn't have to come here and bother you.
No, you're not a bother. You're not a bother.
I mean,
So
seriously.
I have not gotten a response on that, but obviously, if we do, we'll work to obviously coordinate and.
Well, we certainly would appreciate it, am I correct?
Yay.
Am I correct? So I thank you for listening to me, and I'll let someone else talk.
Thank you.
Little nervous,
Thank you.
but good afternoon, and thank you for hearing us.
Relax.
My name is Patrice Snell. My address is 501 Lee Road, apartment 930D, Colony Club Apartments. I have a couple of things, and I promise I won't take too much time. One of the most important things that concern me is the ability to go to the coin machine, load up our cards in the middle of winter, where the roads are bad, where it's not safe, where I have fallen in the past, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, when you have to access your car. They originally had the coin machines or access to put your money in the individual laundry rooms. They took that away, and they made it unsafe for a lot of us who are seniors, and also the young people that are there also, because of weather. So that's a concern. The other concern that we have is, I know, at least I believe, that Colony Club is privately owned. I might be wrong. But we've all been issued statements stating that they're going to start collecting water, sewer, and utility, of which is very vague. I've been in the office 2 times speaking with them about it. When I went to renew my lease, they told me they would have more information before those things would be addressed. Some of the residents that are sitting with me have already received letters stating that our rent is going to increase no less than $45 or $50 for water, sewer, and utility. I call that gouging. Trash. Now, my lease is up October 31st. I don't want to make this personal, but I've already had a rent increase. So this $40 or $50 will be on top of the rent increase. So those are my concerns and some of my immediate neighbors. And I'm not sure how this can be handled, but most importantly, is access the laundry card, which she just mentioned, putting money on the card, the safety. The leaf pickup is very poor as far as that area is concerned. So if that could be addressed, it would be very helpful. Those are the things that I want to speak of.
May I ask her a question, please, Mayor?
Yes.
Your leaf pickup, is that like the tree leaves on the tree lawn?
Yes, it's on the asphalt when you're going out to the carports. They have leaf pickup and blowers and everything every Thursday, I believe, or sometimes Wednesday, but it's not adequate as far as walking across the pavement to access your car in the winter when there's snow and it hasn't been removed. I have fallen twice. Luckily, nothing was broken, but I don't know how to address this. And as she has said in the past, going to the office is it's a bit of a waste of time. Okay, very unpleasant. Thank you.
Excuse me if I may return something that just occurred to me. I called 4 weeks ago about 3 potholes at the very end of 625C. I almost broke my tire, almost broke the front end of my car, and I said, when is it going to be repaired? Bobby, who's head of the maintenance department, says, oh, I have the materials to repair it. I says, why, are you a cement man? I says, it takes a cement man to fill this up, those holes, I says. And winter's coming, and it's gonna get bigger. Oh, we're gonna take care of it. That's 4 weeks ago. I called again last week. Oh, I'll get to it, Mrs. McGrady, don't worry. It still isn't done. I'm fearful of falling, fearful of the seniors like myself, or even kids. They're big holes. There's 3 of them at the end of, which is 625C, is A, B, C, right at the back. It's terrible. Take a look. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Carolyn Crane. I live at 550A Cork Hill Road in Colony Club Apartments. When I first moved there, this is like my third lease. I didn't have any problems. The building was good, the lot was good, the neighbors was well. But I got a mice problem. My house was immaculate. Just about everything in there is new. I'm divorced after 36 years, so this is where I started out to restart my life over. I went to the rental office and I told them, there's no way I'm gonna pay almost $800 a month to live like I live in the projects down on 30th or 40th. I refuse to pay that kind of money, and I can't even sleep at night because I'm hearing this squeaking and this squealing, and it's just me. I don't do pets. I don't do animals. It's just me. I woke up one morning in my bedroom. It's an extra bathroom. Underneath the door, the chip is gone because the mice has then ate at the chip of the door. So this is in my bedroom, like. So I go to the rent office and I'm like, do y'all really think I'm gonna pay almost $800 a month to live here? And I can't do these mice. I ain't finna get no cat because I don't do cats. The lady asked me, well, what do you think we should do? Duh, me? What? I'm not living with no mice. So of course I caught a mice on the trap about 4 something in the morning, and I was terrified, and I picked the thing up and I moved like this. I was gonna throw it in the kitchen garbage, but when I got to the garbage it started moving, so I ran to the patio and I just flung it out. So the girl downstairs went to the rental office and complained. And about a couple days later, I go in there and I go, you know what? I'm just not paying this kind of money. I swear I would break this lease. I'm not living with these mice. And she go, I said, you know, it was one, and I just threw it out the window. She said, oh, you the mice lady.
Oh, no.
I said, mice lady? What? I said, oh my gosh, she called. I said, that was me. I threw that mice out of here. I was terrified. Who you gonna call at 4 in the morning to come get the mice? You know what I'm saying? So they assured me that it would get better, whatever. But at our back door, it's a runner carpet. There's a hole like this big, maybe this wide, in the beginning of the concrete. But you take the carpet and you pull it down over the hole, and when the door keep hitting it, that's how the mice get in. So I said, do mice have legs? I live on the 2nd floor. I didn't know they can come up the steps.
But they want
So the lady said, well, no. I said, you know what? I don't know what to tell you, but I'm going to say it again. I'm not living with these mice. So of course they sent the exterminator people over, and they put 1, 2, 3, 4 traps in the kitchen. Kitchen is only this big. 4 traps in the kitchen. Then I got a white square box with a hole in it, with a trap in it. Do you really think I'm finna have people over here every day and somebody say, can I get some water? And they see all these traps and be like, oh, that's all right about the water. I mean, the blinds, you pull up to the apartment, and I'm telling y'all the same thing I told them. I am not gonna pull up to my apartment and look like I'm down on 30th, on 55th and Scoville somewhere. The blinds is tore up. It's atrocious. It's like you won't. I'm paying $779. Come December 1st, I will be paying $794. Then you tell me, when I moved here, I got a senior citizen discount, which was $15. I had to pay $15 towards the water bill, fine. So I take my discount and that work out. Now you tell me we're gonna get separate water bills. Every building is gonna be billed differently. In my building, there's 4 on the second floor, 4 on the first floor. 1 person in my apartment, 1 person next door, 2 people across the hall, 2 in this apartment, 2 down here, 1 there. You're gonna take that water bill and it's just one me, and I'm very with using the water. How come I'm gonna pay 25 something dollars? Oh, yours will probably be like $25, something like that, Miss Crane. But I was only paying 15, and I wasn't using 15 a month. It's just me. I'm hardly even there. First of all, I never lived there for the first 6 months. I paid an extra $50 because I had an illness, blood clots in my leg, couldn't walk, all that 9 yards. So I paid an extra $50 in case I had to break my lease, in case I couldn't make it up the steps after I got out the hospital of 2.5 months. I told them I would not live in that apartment like that. I was going to use the hospital issue to break the lease because of the mice. Because I'm just not living with mice. I'm not finna be screaming, and her daughter, I mentioned this yesterday, I have a neighbor back there, and she go, I caught the mice this morning in the kitchen and my daughter was screaming away, Mommy, Mommy, it's a mice! How much your rent? That's all I thought of.
Thank you.
I live in the same building, I caught 2.
And you have a cat and catch mice? Oh, wow.
Louise Novak, 1252 Broadway. I don't have a question, just I wanted to add, Paula mentioned about the Historical Society trick or treat. It's on the night before, Wednesday the 30th, because that's the night the Historical Society is open anyways. And it's going to be a fun evening. Bring your kids, you get a tour of the museum, kids go home with a coloring book, plus some treats.
Right.
And it's from 6 to 8.
Thank you.
My name is Adele Williams. I live at 681 Tunney Road, apartment 109 at the Collin House, and I lived here since 2013. I am the one that has the chipmunk on my phone. He's the size of my hand. I couldn't sleep at night. He's in my bedroom, in my windows. He cut the storm door, the screen door to get in. He ate up all my fruit. I went all the way into Cleveland to get me some rat poison to kill him, but I couldn't catch him. So they finally got me to get the animal ward to come out and catch him. He ran between the animal ward legs while he was there, and that's how he knew he was there, because he ran up under the couch, and I couldn't get him out of there. But Collin House didn't do anything to help me get rid of that chipmunk. I was a nervous wreck. I couldn't sleep. I called the office. It didn't do any good. When you gotta sleep with a big chipmunk running through your house, you can hear him in there eating up everything that he can find. But my apartment is particularly clean. I'm cleaning all the time. I don't leave anything out for him to get. I don't even use my dishwasher. I got it packed with stuff. But at Christmas time, he had a good field ball in there eating up my fruit on the table. He would play in my flower bed. But here he is. He's on here. If you want to see it, it's here. This is my proof.
What we could do is, obviously, keep that, but I believe you. I'm just saying, keep it for documentation. What we could do is, if there's obviously some of the issues that you're referring to, with evidence of some of that, we could possibly, and we'd have to talk to the court, but we could possibly work something out where your rent doesn't go to Colony Club. Your rent's going to go through our court, and we will hold it until things are addressed.
That's what I've been asking.
I don't want to send the false...
I've been asking them.
I don't, it's not a guarantee, but that's why, obviously, there's going to need to be documentation of some of these things. So John and I will work to see if that's something that we can do, and then if it is something that can be done, obviously, we will coordinate on getting some of the specific information. We wouldn't be able to do any of those filings. You would need to come and do that at the court, but that could be an option to, hold them to addressing some of these issues. Obviously, when it comes to a rent increase or things like that, as I had mentioned at the last meeting, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. I mean, that's a private business, and I don't want to give false hope that we're going to lower your rent. I mean, the reality is we can't do that if they're doing a rent increase or some of those other items. But some items like the mice, or if they're not being responsive as far as leaf pickup or anything else that may happen, one alternative is we can utilize our courts to try to, they wouldn't get their money unless some of these things are addressed. So John and I will look into that starting tomorrow, and then obviously we'll follow up accordingly, that if it is an option for us to do, then we'll need to let you know, and you would need to come in and take the appropriate steps. But that could be, it could be an option for us. So I took some notes down, and we'll see if we can take that avenue as well.
Oh, I appreciate it because I'm tired.
Ms. Williams,
Thank you.
Ms. Williams, one question. When we had Mr. Johnson come out and talk with you that afternoon, do you remember what date that was?
They had Matt come out from the health department from downtown.
Yeah.
And he talked to them.
But when he came, did you write that date down that he came out?
Yes, he saw the picture on here.
Because we
He
were gonna-
talked to them.
That too.
The inspector came out and brought a little rat trap about large as my 2 fingers, and that chipmunk dragged that rat trap up under the hedges on front of my door, and finally he didn't catch him. They went and put some poison outside in the black boxes along the buildings.
Because you said they were gonna come out and exterminate from...
I haven't
club.
seen anybody.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Please forgive me, I just have one more question concerning the water and sewer. Is that, if anyone can address it, is that legally, is that something that is legal for them to start charging us for water, sewer, and utility? Without any meters?
And trash, I believe it is. I have that on here that I'm going to look into how those are, individual buildings are billed, but I think they're able to do that. I'm going to verify it, though.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Nadine Taylor. I stay at 550 Cork Hill, apartment 179. As far as the issue with the rat problem, the entry doors that you enter this is the ground and this is the door. They're coming all through there. That's how they're coming in. If they could seal those doors from all the way to the ground, that'll eliminate probably the rat problem. Okay, and then by the door where I stay, the complex, the wood is gone and you can see straight through outside. Rats don't have any bones. They can get in anything.
Down to quarter size.
Okay, that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, one more thing I want to say. The people are not worried about raising the rent. I'll pay $800, $850, $900, but it got to be worth it. None of these damn places at Colony Club is worth $25. I mean, the place is going down, and I like to tell all my people here on 4, Council Ward 4, if any of the ladies, if you got a problem and it's dark outside and you want to go and put money on your card, call me. I'll come. and make sure you get there, okay? And I'll make sure you get back home, all right? They all behind me. They all behind me. So if you need some help, call me, okay?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tina Strati at 51 Elm Street, Bedford. And I just wanted to say I missed a couple meetings, but in that time, I've been so encouraged because, and for you guys, I am so sorry that you're going through that because Bedford is our town and we want to be like Mel. We want to be the neighbors where we're reaching out and helping each other and sticking together and keeping it a place where we can feel safe and enjoy living together. But these guys have done such a good job. We brought to their attention the truck stop and just be encouraged that they're going to try to help. They're going to try to get things done because that's what they're doing and they're doing a great job. So we appreciate it. The truck stop, that's been ended, so thank you. That was, somebody did some work and it's better. The first Fridays, the Wizard of Oz, there were people walking, enjoying, sitting next to each other, having fun. It was a nice time. Our young adult sons were with us and they were like, wow, look at, this is Bedford. You know, it was a place that people enjoyed being. My favorite part was while I was encouraging Mike Malice, he was singing the praises of Mike Callahan and Aaron and the rec there. When I would talk to them, they were saying how Heather joined in or had such a big part in that and how, so people working together and trying to draw people into our town again. The police just, we have a vacant houses on our street, and I've had to call, and this week they've been wonderful. They've come, they've called back, and just, we have a lot of really good things. If we can just try to keep working together and get that respect back. The kiddie campus is painted, like the sign still looks a little shoddy, but they're taking care of things. If we could just try to, I don't know how you make people care, but we are caring, so we're starting it. So thank you, and we are looking forward to what I believe God has good plans for us. So thanks, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Benita Patterson. I live at 601 Lee Road, Colony Club Apartments. I like to complain about the traffic that we have coming through there now. We have people coming through they're not doing 5 and 10 miles an hour. They're going 25 and 30. I almost got hit last night going to my car to go to work. Another thing is in my building, we have dogs in my building now, and I work nights. Actually, I work all different shifts. But when I'm at home during the day, I want to sleep. There's this dog that's just chirping away. I'm like, oh my God, whose dog? So we have dogs in our building now. We also have party people in our building. The building used to be rather quiet. I mean, there are seniors there. We know children are moving in as well, and they need a place to stay. I don't have a problem with that. But when you come in and you party and you got your visitors coming in, they hanging out in the hall, liquor bottles along our lawn, I think that's inappropriate, unacceptable. And on Sunday and Saturday, they are really loud. And I just want to say, I think that could be controlled. It could be something done about it, said to the individuals who just moved in there, because it's always been quiet. I've only been there 5 years, but it's been quiet and it's acceptable. Now you're afraid to even go out because you got guys hanging out outside the front. You don't know who they are. They don't live there, but they just come in there hanging out. People come in there parking their cars and leaving, getting in another car, come back later, get their car. I don't feel safe, like I said, because I work all different shifts. And when I come in at 2 o'clock in the morning, I want to be able to go inside, whereas before, Colony Club management had told me that if I came in late, there would be someone I could call and let them know I'm coming. I'm like, okay. Well, 2 times someone was parked in my space. I called them, they came, someone walked me to my car, they just had me park in front, but they didn't find out who was parked in my space. So I'm just saying we got strangers coming, they're visiting, taking up space. And I don't like it. And I don't feel safe. Thank you for hearing me.
Bill Astle, 685 Archer Road. I'm with the Bedford Lions Club, and I just wanted to say to everybody here, the Lions are starting to sell their raffle tickets for the scholarship drawing for next year. It's a Robert Schroeder Memorial Scholarship Drawing. We give 3 scholarships to Bedford High School, and we sell raffle tickets, and you get 36 chances to win. So anybody interested, come see me.
Same thing. Mayor got first prize, and I got second prize. He got 125.
Good evening, Jay Watson, 40 Berwyn. Boy, I'm overwhelmed with what I'm hearing about these residents who live in colony apartments. And it touches me greatly because when I moved to Bedford, it was because I liked the community, the services. And I have seen some changes that have been concerning to me as well. But when I hear these wonderful residents back here who are very encouraged and show strength to come up and ask for help, I applaud them, and I certainly hope that help does find its way to meeting their requests. But it's not the first time I have been to recent council meetings where people are asking for help. I'm not wanting to be found guilty of saying that you guys have unlimited powers as council members and mayors. But as I'm listening to these individuals, I'm not sure if you don't have the answers for them, where do they find the answers? And like I said, I want to be fair. That I'm not saying that you have unlimited powers. But they're doing what citizens are supposed to do. Come here, express that they want to stay here. They're seeing a change, and they're asking for help. And I'm not saying you aren't listening, and you aren't maybe giving some suggestion. But like I said, this is not the first time I'm hearing this kind of outcry for help. And, you know, and when I'm hearing about this colony place, it sounds like this is being run by the slumlord, you know. That is absent, you know, raising money and probably living in a nice community, have no idea what's going on in this community. And I'm not saying you have the answers for this, but what I do see is another example of why people are leaving Bedford. Because I do Meals on Wheels, and I go to some of these apartment complexes, especially on Rockside Road, where the roofs are all tattered, the doors are in disarray, the driveways are just in disarray. And I had many of them tell me, I'm going to move to the west side because I can get something a whole lot better than this and cheaper. Cheaper. I mean, I'm hearing them tell me. And I'm saying, and they say, we would like to continue, you know, they say, I enjoy seeing you and, you know, doing your work. But they say, you know what? We aren't seeing the change. They're going to management, asking for change. And what I'm just wondering, why is this happening in Bedford? I mean, it's happening not just in this place, but so many aspects of Bedford is happening. And people are saying, I don't want this to happen. So I'm just saying, I'm with them because I see many aspects where it's a concern. And I'm not wanting to say you have the power to address it all. But this is a wave where people will say, I'm exiting Bedford. I'm going to make an exit. And who's going to replace them? You think it's going to be these kind of people who have concerns for Bedford? No, it'll be someone who don't have concerns for Bedford who will replace these people. let me move on to something else here. I have taken upon myself to call the police department about cars who are being parked in yards. I don't know if you had mentioned it. I don't know if you have seen an improvement. I call, and I have seen it within a matter of a couple hours, address it. But shortly, a couple of days later, our car's right back in that yard. And I have also addressed where I have seen cars obstructing the sidewalk. Now here's a picture of my concern, and maybe it's just not obstructing it enough. But I have brought that one, which is, in my view, very much a problem. And I have given that address, I have given also other addresses, because I like to walk in Bedford. And I'll take little notes, and I'll call. Nothing's being done. I mean, and I'm also recalling that conversation where you were saying you was concerned. We're talking about trees being trimmed back so people could walk sideways through the sidewalk versus doing this with low branches. Now, our city department, I'm not saying they're out there goofing up. They got a lot that they're doing. I see them doing a whole lot. I'm not seeing that being addressed. Bedford's a big place. I'm not everywhere. I'm just not seeing it happening. Something that's kind of a little getting off because we're coming up to Christmas. I have brought this up also. We decorate the pavilion up there very nicely. It's about time we change some of those decorations. Some of them are very, very old and tattered. I mean, Santa Claus used to have a white suit. It is very dingy and probably light brown. And there should be some money to say, okay, we're going to replace maybe not all of it, but we should be replacing some of it over time. Because Bedford has some good things, and that's one of the good things. But some of the decorations, they are disgusting. When we talk about money that money that perhaps may be used to help Bedford on this Chanel issue, when you're talking about maybe offering money to help Bedford High School regarding Chanel, that money was originally earmarked for what?
Demolitions.
So we don't have a need in Bedford to continue doing those demolitions. We can take that money and go ahead and make that offer to Bedford.
No, we identified homes in Bedford that we could apply for.
Yes.
That we could either own, get permission from a homeowner who abandoned the home, or a bank.
Yes.
And we can apply for those specific homes. We identified those. I think there might have been 8 or 9, okay? You can only apply once per round.
Okay.
We've applied almost every round. The ones that we identified, we included and applied, and we got all the money for those homes.
Yes.
Now, this is the last year of the demo fund for the county.
Okay.
So we looked at it and we says, okay, not knowing what the school's plans are, and we said it's not our decision, but there is X number of dollars available.
Yes.
For a commercial structure like that, you can get $100,000 per building.
Yes.
And if going off of the years of Chanel and the addition, it constituted as 3 buildings, they could get a max of 300. We couldn't use that money for other homes because we didn't currently own other homes, or we couldn't go ahead and we didn't have permission at the time from property owners to do that. We identified, like I said, I think there were 8 of them.
Yes.
At the time of the application. We included all of those. And then we had inquired with the schools. We didn't know what their plans were, but we wouldn't be able to go back and apply for it.
Okay.
If they were able to use the funds, great. If not, then obviously it would go back to the land bank. But we did get the funds that we had, that we applied for the homes that we were going to be demolishing. And the land bank is currently bidding all of those out as a whole, because it's more cost effective than to just tear the one down on West Glendale and then come back and tear a garage down on Henry. They're doing it all at once, and those bids have been out. So the money the requirement was they had to be down by the end of the year.
Okay, I guess my question would be, did we miss evaluating what homes need to be addressed, such funds like that? which left us with a surplus? Was it due to a poor evaluation? Or did we just simply find ourselves?
Those funds don't come to the city, they go directly from the land bank to
Okay.
demo those properties. They don't
We
come
don't
to the
see any of those monies.
We don't have any funds available for that, no. It doesn't come to
Yeah,
us.
so basically, there's a set dollar amount.
Yes.
Okay, like I said, Chanel, obviously, it's not gonna be 300,000 to tear it down. Or like other commercial buildings. You could apply for 100 per structure. You qualified for 300. Let's just say they bid it out and someone bid 280,000.
Okay, fine.
The Cuyahoga County will send the land bank the 280,000 to tear that down. It's not like we have the extra 20,000. We don't see any of those monies. We're just facilitating things to get done.
Okay.
So the homes that qualified us to apply, because obviously, like I said, it can't be owner occupied, or I'm sorry, it can't be occupied. We would either have to own that property. For instance, there's a garage, I think, at the end of Henry. We took ownership of it with the idea that we can tear down our own house. Ones that we don't own, we either acquired a sign-off from property owner or bank to demolish, or we've exhausted all opportunities. There's a home on West Glendale. The gentleman that owned it is deceased. So we went through the process, they certified that we could do that house. So each one that we identified that was in structural condition to get torn down, and we had all of the I's dotted, T's crossed, we received that funding. Now, we don't get that money, we signed off to the land bank to do the bidding process, to handle the whole thing. So it was close to, I think our number, the total grant was about 408,000.
Yes.
So about 108,000 of that was earmarked for those homes that I had just identified.
Okay.
When they bid all those out, let's say the lowest bid comes in at 90, then it's 90. Then Cuyahoga County gives the land bank 90,000 to tear those down. There's no surplus. It's not like we could have used the Chanel funds for something else. It's not our money. It's Cuyahoga County's through HUD, the federal program. We were utilizing, we knew it was hanging out there. We didn't know what decision they were looking at. We figured it's the last round. If they choose to go forward with demolition, at least we can save the schools and/or taxpayers $300,000. If they choose not to, no problem. I mean, we're just looking at getting as much money for our community as possible.
And I appreciate that, but as I said, and you helped me to understand better. And as you said, this is a land bank that is allocating this money. But it allocates money based upon your assessment of your needs.
Properties have to, if somebody owns it and there's liens on it, it has to go through the foreclosure process. We can't just say, that house has got to go. People have rights, so we have to exhaust those rights before we can do it. And the foreclosure process takes years normally for any house, and the banks they don't even want the properties because then they're responsible for them. So they're not even foreclosing anymore. It's like the lady said, I mean, the whole thing with everything you guys are discussing, how do you get somebody to care? That's the whole problem. But
okay, well, I mean, I
try to talk some sense into them.
Yes, Paul.
Mr. Watson?
Yes.
Address, Mr. Watson. You know how you said it? We're listening intensely to these people and taking notes, which I have. I've also, Dr. Mrs. Miglarini, referred her to, there's a group for the people that rent, that have rights. We received a copy of the rental's rights, what they can do and what they can't do. Ms. Williams and I were in contact all summer long because of her chipmunks and the field mice problem, because those were fields before departments. And I referred her to a certain person at the Board of Health. They've reached out. I've been working on this since Mel started the ball rolling, and we're not done yet. We won't be done until we get satisfaction. We're working at it.
That's very encouraging. I'm sure everyone behind me is very encouraged by it. As I said, I was, coming back to my question about the money to help Chanel. That's great, but with Chanel being a school that is serving Oakwood, Walton Hills, Bedford Heights, Are any of those communities going to do this, make maybe money available for the demolition? Or is it only Bedford that has?
I don't think any of them applied. I mean, they potentially could have applied.
Yes.
I can't speak for those communities. I don't know if they applied it to go after those funds. They may have. I don't think they would have been successful, only because they couldn't apply for the same address that we did.
I mean, in their own communities.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you did in this community was apply for that, and then you say there's some money left over.
There was, I don't know the exact dollar amount, but it's been millions of dollars available in each round. I want to say the whole thing might have been 20 plus. I'd have to check that. But we were successful. Actually, we were the very first, one of the very first recipients of the first grant, which was about $640,000. That was used for, if you recall, there was an abandoned manufacturing facility at the end of Harrison, which was over by the Auto Mile.
Yes.
All of that was redeveloped. The building was torn down. Auto dealer purchased it. Actually, the city took ownership of that. We got the demo money. It was about $300,000+ to tear that down. We then sold the property to Bedford Auto Mile dealer. So we did recoup, I shouldn't say recoup's the wrong word. We did gain some funds there, and now it's a serviceable parcel, and it's cleaned up at the end of that street. If other communities, I know it's public, you can go on Cuyahoga County's website, and you could see the recipient of this last round.
Yes.
I don't know if Oakwood, Bedford Heights, or Walton Hills applied for it. I don't know for this last round.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Else? Seeing none?
Hi, my name is Rachel Madigan. I live at 209 Talbot Drive, Bedford 44146. And I just have a question, actually. Sorry, I don't want to, take away from this topic that we've been talking about all night. It's very terrible what's been going on. But I regrettably want to change the subject. I just would like to know what are the prerequisites. How does the process of censorship go within the council? Is it something that a resident will come to their council person to talk about, or is this strictly a intra-city council process?
It's in the council, as our charter says. Council shall be the judge of the qualifications of its own members, and the council shall also judge the conduct of its own members.
Okay.
That's where we get the authority from our city charter.
Okay. And then I just have a question of when the next city council meeting is?
November 4th.
November 4th.
Okay.
Right. It's the first and third Mondays of every month.
Okay. Sorry. Forgive my ignorance. I've never been to a
That's
city
okay.
council meeting before. This is the first for me. I don't really know a lot about what you guys do and everything. But I just want to voice my concern that have people been censured before in the council? How often?
Not very often, no.
No.
It's something a lot of thought goes into. And
Okay.
It's not as we do it on a whim.
Right. So if I were to have a problem with, or a concern with someone, and I came to a council person and talked about it, would that process take place after that, or is this just
Maybe.
like you said, strictly?
Maybe.
Okay. I just have a concern that this the censorship or the vote that took place tonight is it's never been brought up before that I've heard of in recent years. I'm only 20. I haven't been paying attention to Bedford politics for very long, but I'm just concerned that it's, it's 2 weeks before the election, and I just am worried. I just would like to voice my concern about this.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the election.
Okay.
And we're not actually going to vote on it until 2 weeks after the election.
Okay. I just wanted to voice my concern just because I had never heard of something like this happening before.
It's actually just happened in Macedonia?
Macedonia.
Yeah, North
Okay.
Philly.
I don't live in Macedonia, so I've never heard of it happening. I never heard of it in Bedford before, so I just wanted to say that. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Slifka, 130 Grand Boulevard. Real quick, there's some kind of school planning thing about Chanel coming Thursday. I lost the email.
Yes.
Heskett, do you know what time?
7 o'clock.
Okay, and what exactly is that meeting about?
They're going to discuss the future plans of, show some pictures of the findings or what they're going to do with the
Okay, so they haven't made a final decision yet?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, they're not even
Oh, they're just
close.
starting
Okay,
out. They
7:30.
want to
Okay.
show they're going to try to more or less bring people up to speed on what's going to be happening in the future with the building across the street.
Okay, thank you.
And they may have pictures, they may have other plans. We were just invited, just like everybody. It's open to the public.
There's two meetings, one at Heskett and one at the high school, I think.
Anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion for adjournment? By Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll.
Janutus,
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mizek?
Yes.
Thank you all for coming.
Of course, my wife